I think we'll get started as that clock there is telling us it's 7 o'clock. So, welcome to this meeting of the Planning Committee, particularly the two members of the public who are there. We'll start with the open session. So it's over to you. I'm going to be strict and allowing 3 minutes, Rachel. If that's okay.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Thank you.
Evening, and thank you for hearing me today. My application is the removal of equine buildings and structures and the erection of a detached dwelling. As you reviewed my information on the 14th of October, I hope that you've had time to consider how this proposal will improve the site. I want to note that I won't be answering questions today. I trust that the planning process will run its course without unnecessary comments that might suggest bias. I look forward to hearing a fair review guided by respect and adherence to the parish's code of conduct. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Do you want to speak as well?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, now I've explained that there'll now be, before we actually come to that matter, there's a few procedural things that we have to do. So the first one is about recording. This meeting has already been recorded. Does anybody wish to make an additional recording? No? Thank you. Right, apologies for absence, item 137. We've had 3 apologies for absence from Councillor Damien Brooke, Councillor Pat Colling and Councillor Steve Ransby.
Is he alright, Steve?
I believe he's got
very
flu.
bad flu.
And we've been given the reasons for absence. So are we willing to, given that we know the reasons, are we willing to accept that? Just in favour. Thank you. Okay. Right. Item 138. Members and officers' personal and disclosable pecuniary interests in items on the agenda. Are there any? Anybody? Anything to declare? No. Nobody know any applicants? Right. Item 139. Written request for new disclosable and pecuniary interest. Have there been any?
No.
No? Okay. Right. Item 140. Do we wish to discuss any items in private session? Does anybody wish to discuss any items in private session?
No.
Okay. Thanks. Right. Let's move on to the minutes of the previous meeting. Right. So I think first of all, can we approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 7th of October? All those in favour of approving minutes? Approve the minutes. Right. We are also asked to note a fairly long narrative which includes information which was supplied by one of the people here in the public session. And we've been asked if we will reconsider our decision to object to that particular application. Does any of the councillors wish to say anything? Okay, Councillor.
I wish to not reconsider our application because it was refused on the grounds of planning law, not a personal view or a personal dictation or anything else related to the applicants. It was based on the fact that the application is in breach of the planning law, so therefore that is the reason for refusal. We're all quite in agreement with it. We don't know the applicants, we don't have a view on the application, it was just based on the rules.
Thank you, Councillor. Anybody else wish to comment?
Could I just mention, I mean, we do get these time to time, don't we, where people ask us to review. And I think, well, I would normally say, at the point that we make the decision, we make it with the information we've got at that point in time. Things do change afterwards, and we find out more information, but I think the decision at the time was based on what we knew.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Yes, I think it is our practice not to go back and revisit our decisions on applications. Because, as Councillor Wilson has just said, they're made in good faith. And I wasn't here at the last planning committee meeting. The decisions are made in good faith on the basis of the information that we have in front of us at the time. And it's always our advice to make sure that Kirklees Planning Authority are aware of all of the points. So the various points that you've written in here, and our advice is to direct your energies and attention at Kirklees, first of the council, through the planning portal, and through Kirklees councillors, the 3 Kirklees councillors for Hunt Valley South. Yes.
Yeah, I should comment as a ward councillor. I know Rachel and the family since we went to school and long time. So when I did see the plan, I was aware that it was you, but and the family, we've been in Heppel for a long time. No issues with yourself or the family. Like I said, we look at things as the planning applications as they are. I agree with some of the comments here on the agenda about the access, like the highways grounds. There's probably not much there apart from what the other people, the owners of the land have said about the access, but you're getting told there's 2 different sides to the story. We're getting told your side of the story and the other side of the story, and we made our decision at the meeting based on planning rules, as Joe has mentioned, and that's what we stick with at the council. We go through the planning rules. Obviously, you think that some of the rules have not been breached and that they can be interpreted in different ways, and like Mary said, it's worth going to Kirklees and presenting your case to them as well, and that's what I said to the other party. The other parties contacted me about it, and it's for Kirklees to decide on the decision over it. We only advise Kirklees about what we think should happen. Kirklees may take your view on this and may give you approval for it. So it's about going to Kirklees and presenting yourself as best as you can do. The other people will be doing the same as well. So it's about going to them and contacting the planning officers, maybe even the Kirklees councillors, and you might, I don't know if it's going to go to committee or what's going to happen with it, but you're best off contacting them, putting all your views across to them, and then they'll make the decision based on what they think how the rules are and how they should be applied. So, like Mary said, and everybody else said, it's nothing personal about where things are our decision and that.
Thank you. Does anybody wish to say anything? Councillor Barnett? No?
No, it wasn't
No.
there, so we'll come back.
So we were asked to whether we want to take any further action. So if it looks to me as though we will not be taking any further action. Do you wish to vote on that? We'll leave the decision as it was. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming, Rachel. And so make sure that, as I said, make sure that Kirklees Council is in receipt of all the information that we've got there, because they are decision makers. And I know you've had some exchanges with the clerk to the council as well, and I think she gave you that advice too, I believe. So thank you for coming, and yes, I'm sorry if you're disappointed, but it's good that you came. Right, thank you. So you're welcome to stay for the rest of the.
Will you discuss any further?
No.
All right, let's pause at next one. Thank you.
Thanks
very much.
Thank you.
For your time.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye. Right. Item 142. The list of Kirklees planning applications updated with the committee. C, can we note that, please?
Noted.
Noted. Thank you. Right. New planning applications. No, we mustn't, that's really out of order, Councillor Myers, you mustn't say that. Okay, let's look at this. Right. So under our new system, I sent out a list. I've just little discussion with Andy earlier on that obviously I'm not infallible, and there may be there may be some that you wish to discuss that I've missed. If so, let me know, and then at least I can look at them so two people can have looked at them. And also, I think I seem to have inadvertently left off number 17, which is the Ford Inn. Sorry, it was on my, I have looked at it, it was on my list to look at. It is a very substantial change, so we'll look at that one.
I thought number 7 as well, but
And, right, so
And I've looked
okay,
at
we
it, so
think
we
just, yeah, we'll just, when we get to number 7, just raise back, so, okay, there's bound to be, I guess, teething problems with the new system anyway. Number 2 is the first one, which is a change of use, enterprise works. Right, sounded nice this one, didn't it? Sounded a good thing to be doing. Okay, did anybody, I looked at it, did anybody else look at it? Okay.
Yeah, I've had a look at it. I think it looks good. I think it's good for the valley. I know some people I know who play cricket, and they'd have to go to other places in the valley to go practice and things like that, or go to other places outside the valley. So it keeps it internally. And I think I've seen something online about Holmley have got a new professional who's a very good coach and all this stuff, and played at 319s and all this stuff. And I think this must be he must be involved in something to do with this, and it could be good. We've already got a Yorkshire cricketer who's from the valley, who plays for Yorkshire and could be playing for England soon, hopefully. Walton is called, I can't remember his first name.
There's quite a lot of children who travel to Bradford in Valley for cricket training at the moment, which is obviously quite a trek, isn't it, in the evening. And they stop doing it between now and Christmas because they can't get in, and then they have to hire private pitches. So I think it's a good thing. Anything that brings sport, entertainment and exercise to the valley.
Yeah, it gives the young people something to do as well, and the older players, like people who don't have to travel as far to get out, so it keeps them in. It's good.
Thank you.
I
Anybody else?
was a bit surprised by this one, knowing where it is, because Enterprise Print is just across the way, and I go there quite often. So I was quite surprised there were 12 neighbour comments on this about noise.
Kirklees
But
officers were mentioned about concern about the
Yeah,
noise.
so they've already covered that sort of
They
thing.
already covered it, yeah.
The only other thing that seemed to strike me was the number of parking places, and I must say, I can't see how they could be, aren't they talking about 16? I can't see how there's 16 places there.
Maybe they're all driving little cars.
I think they counted some outside Enterprise Print, which clearly aren't theirs.
Well, there may be theirs, I don't know. I think
Well,
I counted up 16, but yeah, because I've been there and picked up stuff that's been printed, and I was thinking how, but then obviously this kind of shed is at right angles, isn't it?
Yeah.
If Enterprise Print's closed though, and it may have not, it's not going to be, I don't know if it's going to be open during daytime, it might be evenings and things like that, or weekends. And with noise, we're not going to be playing cricket at 12 o'clock at night, are they, making a racket?
Overall, it seems a good use of an empty building. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely.
But I think,
Should we,
perhaps we as well to just mention the
Yeah.
parking, and they need
Shall
to
we-
clarify that.
should we support, we're moving to support, but
Yeah.
drawing attention to the issues about the parking and perhaps also the noise control, but the hours of operation look fairly sensible to me.
Yeah.
Do we want to say anything about the noise or
Well,
environmental?
definitely.
Well,
Picked it
it's
up,
right,
yeah.
They've already picked them, already picked them up.
Yeah.
Okay, right. It's- Feels a bit naughty skipping over these. Some things like it, subversive.
Fighting
like-
game.
Don't fight, just do it. Right.
One of three discharge conditions though, they don't mind, we skip them anyway, don't we?
Thanks, Tom. Number 4 is the next one on my list, which is in Greenbelt, which is change of use workshop to kitchen. Anybody wish to comment?
It's Joe's one, isn't it?
It makes a 2-bed into a 4, but the footprint's no different. It's plenty of room there.
Is the workshop just at the side of the building as it is?
Mm.
So it's just kind of knocking through, isn't it, and making that into another bedroom? They're not increasing it further up, are they? It's just the same floor.
I know it's Greenbelt, but it's not
It's not the
changing.
full, it's not the footprint size, it's not any bigger, is it?
No, so I thought it was.
It's just in fact, just a new porch really, isn't it? So I don't think it's got any impact on the openness of the green belt or anything. So I think support.
It's not a new build, is it?
Oh,
So
that
it's
one.
okay, I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Support, yeah. Straightforward, right. Right. Springfield Farm.
I've got something to say about
I
this.
thought you would, you've already written an email, but.
I'm not happy about this. First of all, the buildings went up without planning, finally got planning for ag use, right? Then she ran it as an equestrian stud. Then after she annoyed everybody and they left her, she's now running it as a private livery yard, taking money for renting her stables out, which makes it business rateable. It is not personal use. And I object to that. If you're going to run a business in Owen Valley, fair enough, pay your business rate. Everyone else has to. It's not fair to do it like that. So it's not a true reflection, and it's not an honest application.
That I mean, again, we've been asked to make a decision, aren't we, on what's
Well, it's
what's in front of us, and what's happened in the past is, in a sense, no longer of any relevance.
Yeah, but the
It
thing
is part of this retrospective application, though, isn't it?
it's retrospective for private use though, and that's not what she's using it for.
It's for the menage, isn't it?
Yeah, that seems to be the issue, isn't it? It's the manage, which is on the other side of that footpath there. So
I mean, on appeal,
Yeah.
they've got permission for change of use, but
Yeah.
they haven't got for the menage, and the inspector specifically said that.
Yeah.
Now, what they seem to be doing is asking again, can we have the menage? Well, to me, they're arguing against the inspector, not the Kirklees. I don't know what the process is for this, but
If it's refused at inspectorate, it's to be removed.
It's a knotty one. It's a complex one, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the inspector didn't give permission, did he? Retrospective permission for the manage, but now they're arguing now that it's going to be a commercial stud, that they need that as well. My feeling here is to defer to Kirklees Council about this one, unless people feel strongly.
I wrote down either oppose it or leave it Kirklees, but I think their argument is not with Kirklees, I think it's with the inspector, and I don't know where they go with that.
There's a court just.
Well, it is,
Crown
well,
Court.
that was about a previous application, wasn't it? So I think their argument is now again with Kirklees with this new application. I would have thought, but right.
So when I look at this, I look at the see it's private use at the moment, according to the application, and we're changing it to commercial use. And I'm looking at this right, it's on Stolesmore Road. I think I know where it is.
Yeah, it's some way off.
So above Tinkers, where Tinkers used to be.
Right, on the left hand side, going up there. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's quite
Down Lane.
So if you change it to commercial use, there's going to be more vehicles accessing it and things like that. And it's quite a fast road, but I think it'd be okay having access into there. I don't think it'd be too bad, would it?
No, the highway is not.
So I'm trying to think of why, from a planning point of view, we would refuse this application, because if it's what planning rules is it that we can apply to change to refuse it?
Essentially, what the inspector's saying is it's inappropriate development in Green Belt, isn't it?
Yeah, because when.
So because they tried to do it as private originally, and that would have been okay.
No, they did it originally as agricultural. Then they got caught out, so then they went equestrian. Then they got caught out again, so now they've gone commercial.
So they've been doing commercial all along, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, can we concentrate on what's
Hey,
on this?
No, that's
On this
I know
application,
the history is not.
History's not relevant, really.
If it had gone straight away and said they were going to do a commercial stuff from there with, I don't know how what grounds we would have to refuse it, to be honest. I'm happy to defer it to Kirklees.
I think we defer it to Kirklees because it's all this issue of this manage, isn't it? Which the inspector said it harmed the openness of the green belt, which I guess it's still doing. It's still there. It's still harming the openness of the green belt. But now their argument is because it's commercial stud, they need 2 areas for exercising the horses. Shall we defer it to Kirklees?
Yeah.
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 And another green belt.
Support.
Yeah, but also, that's all fine.
Support, yes.
Straightforward
Just,
as well.
yeah.
Unless you want to talk some more, right?
Did you want to talk, did you want to talk, did you want to talk about number 7?
Number 7, yes. I just thought it was a slightly odd one, this.
Yeah.
It's almost like another house they're building, but they're calling it annex accommodation. So it's a building at the bottom of the garden for the parents. A couple of things I sort of commented on was there's no additional car parking. Now, perhaps they'll argue that there are no additional cars. I don't know. I didn't think their climate change statement was very good. We've got, they're saying they're putting electric heating in, but it's not air source heating. It's certainly not going to be very efficient. I think they could have done better with that. I think the other thing was, and Kirklees mentioned it in their, I don't know which comments where it came from, but they were talking about possibly applying conditions to make sure that this doesn't become another house in the future. So it will always be subservient to the main house. And I thought perhaps that's a good idea.
Yeah, they can put that in as a condition.
Yeah. So,
But did anybody else look? I must admit, I didn't look at this one.
I looked at it,
You looked at it.
and I think that it's within the domestic curtilage, so therefore they can pretty much do what they want because it's in domestic curtilage. I think that you'll get a lot of this going forward where people sell houses to accommodate parents and have them close to home. There's not brilliant facilities other than that unless you're just going to do it yourself. I can sort of see why you'd want to do that. I'd want to do that if my parents were alive. You'd want them to do that after you've hemorrhaged all your life savings on them to look after you in later life, wouldn't you? So I can see, and if they put a condition on that says that it can't be sold as a separate dwelling, I don't see the issue.
no, I think that's probably my major point. You just wonder whether it's a way around.
We could just do it anyway.
In a year or two's time, it could be up for sale as a separate dwelling. But
Well,
it
yeah.
seems as though there's a means of stopping that. I think.
So I mean, I think you should get discharge of conditions or something like that, couldn't we, in a few years' time, but I don't know, is there sufficient, is the access okay, like to actually get to it?
Well, it's on foot, so you just walk down the garden and put steps.
But like, is there parking or a driveway to it, so it's actually, you have to go past the house to get to it?
It's actually, all it is a bedroom and a bathroom.
So like, if it's, so like, if it,
So they,
Oh,
they
right.
will have to live partly in the main house.
Yeah, which makes
So-
Which,
What
well, I
qualifies?
think.
so it's not like they put planning permission in for a small house then on the plot, is it? It's bit, alright.
We can't speculate on what might happen in the future,
No,
so
no,
I mean,
no.
we
I
will
think we should approve it.
support it.
Yeah.
Support, okay, support. The two of you looked at it.
Could we mention a bit about putting a condition on that?
You can ask them.
We can do, but I don't feel.
Well, the applicant actually suggested that they are happy to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Okay, so but just
How am I wording it?
how we're wording it then, draw attention to,
Subject to,
but if it's only a
condition that, that it remains an annex and is not converted into a house.
subject to remaining annex, subservient to the main house.
But by the sounds of it, though, they wouldn't really have the right access to, if it wasn't a house, if we did make it into a house, because, like, to get through to it and
I
park
couldn't
and
at the
all.
moment, no.
Is that okay, Rich?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, let's move on to number 9, too popular demolishing the porch. Anybody look at this one?
Sorry, this is number 9.
Number 9, yeah.
This is a new build, isn't it? Demolishing a garage.
yeah.
and putting up a house.
Mm.
Yeah, and look, there were actually two neighbour comments, one supporting and
And
one
one again, to cancel each other out.
I'm just all the overlooking, it's all
Yeah.
the
One of the
overlooking.
overlooking clearly has,
Yeah.
well, it seems as though they may have an argument there.
No, it's
I could not see how there's enough parking for 4 vehicles. So you want 2 for the existing house, number 2, and 2 for the new house. I mean, it is, how you can squeeze a house in there, I do not know.
It's
It just does not look big enough.
It's small, isn't it? It's very small. It's a small house, which is what we need,
Yeah,
using existing access. I know where it is, yeah, I know where it is, and it's only 2 bedrooms, so they were saying one, well, they were saying they could park 2, I think, in front of the house, or one unallocated space, and then another possible space. There were some good things about, air source heat pump, yeah, and,
they didn't
It's-
actually put
yeah.
a climate statement in though, did they? Though they have
Yeah,
said
they've
that.
done more than
They've
most
done
though,
more
haven't
than-
they?
Of course, they did quite a long climate
Yeah.
statement as part of their,
Yeah.
I feel inclined to support, sorry Tom.
Have we had an application in for this before? I've had one down that way before. It might be something else, like an extension at the back of one of them, I think.
I don't think so, I don't
Seen this one.
remember it. It's quite a long line.
There isn't much-
space.
I'm just looking at Google Maps and I wasn't sure where it was.
You
Right,
see the
Gary.
double garage?
There's quite a bit crammed in already on this one driveway, isn't there? It's like it's like
If you need 2 cars for the existing house and 2 for the new one, you need space for 4.
I'm just looking now because like how many houses is it? It's on this driveway. It's like a drive, isn't it? It's not a through road, is it?
No, it's just a drive which goes back to where the garage was.
And there's currently 7 houses on that already. So yeah, I don't know another house to the.
No,
No, there's only
Oh,
one.
there's 2 on the other side, aren't there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's only one house, and it has this long drive, and then at
It's
the
sort
end,
of
at
round
the
the
end
corner,
of that
isn't
is,
it? The
yeah,
entrance
it's
to
down
it.
it's kind of down the bottom of,
Oh, right, I can
yeah,
see what you mean.
And there's a double garage there.
I thought it was a good use of, an effective use of a piece of land that's not really doing anything very much. And
Is that the bit at the bottom?
Yes, it's only 2 bedrooms, yeah, opposite where the used to.
That's what we need though, we need small houses
I
in
think we
Northern
need
Valley.
small houses,
I think
yeah.
we do, we have too many 22 bedroomed houses in our firm, we need some small ones. I move to approve.
My feeling is to support it without, but you know, somebody raised concerns about overlooking, but they do address overlooking in their statement.
Yeah, they do.
I think we should say subject to overlooking, because if there is overlooking, then it should be refused.
Well, they were going to put obscured glass, they were saying obscured glass
Right,
in
well,
that side,
we
it's
should say-
only a kind of gable end.
We should say subject to overlooking and also highways issues, potential highways issues,
Well, it's parking, isn't it?
because it's not really.
So we're going for support, yeah,
Well,
but draw attention to overlooking and parking.
And,
Are people happy with that?
yeah.
yeah.
Well, they're just basic planning things anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they are really, so. Okay, number 10, which is a big one, isn't it? And it's totally not Nethertham, of course. So,
I haven't seen looked at it.
did you look at
And
this?
I know where it is.
It's
Or
been,
just plant out.
It's,
it's been empty a while, hasn't it?
yeah, I'm more persuaded to let Kirklees deal with it because there's a lot of Kirklees communication going on.
What do you
Talking
mean?
about it. Like they contacted, I don't know who they contacted,
Well,
but
that pre-app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've taken pretty up advice, and they seem to have responded to it as far as you can see. Thriving local business, isn't it?
yeah.
And I'm glad to see the 50 parking places, because it's causing,
Well, it's a nightmare down the Thames Bridge, isn't it? Robinson's there.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's the one at Tom's Bridge, and the parking down there is not very good. And the other one in Homley, the Vets on the, just off the main road by Safari Sands and that is, parking there's a bit rubbish as well, because especially if you go there like on a weekend when the staging's busy and there's
There's
people doing
no
staging.
parking
It's-
there at all, is
it's-
there?
So like at this place here, we've got a lot of parking spaces. At the moment it's kind of like wasteland, isn't it?
Is it?
I didn't realise this on Devon Farm Law. I'm a bit surprised it's on Devon Farm
No,
Law.
it isn't.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, that's from Tom.
I thought I was going mad for a moment. Is it not on
Yeah,
Devon?
yeah.
So yeah, I thought that. I don't think it looks too bad to be honest. And like I say, it's a good. They're gonna. It looks like they're gonna be having really good state of the art like vets, like with all the facilities and everything like that. It'd be a good asset for the valley and,
Yes,
and for jobs as well.
Pet owners should be jolly pleased, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
They won't have to go to Almond
I
for
think,
it.
you know, in principle, we want to be supporting
Yeah.
businesses, don't
Okay,
we?
I think,
My only, I sort of struggle a little bit with understanding what they're doing, because Kirklees made a comment about the design of the place. I think they're talking about using brick and wood,
Yeah, about,
Yeah.
and about a wall.
Yeah.
and I can't see whether they've changed that or not. The plans don't really show what it looks like.
you know, I think they're sticking with the brick. That's what they call long form bricks, weren't they? But you can't. I mean, something as huge as that is going to take a massive amount of stone. They're running out of stone, so I think Kirklees say predominantly they use stone. You can't carry on forever saying you use stone because it will all be gone. won't
We've
it?
got lots of stone quarries at the past for
We have,
so
but they are
as long as they're not shipping it in from India.
finite,
I
aren't
think
they?
if you look at the other buildings around there, though, is it too out of keeping with what there is down
No,
there?
I don't think it is. I think it's,
Because we're not talking about a conservation area or anything like that, are we? And it is for commercial purposes, so like they want to build it the best material, well, whatever they can.
I just found the plans a little bit vague. It was difficult just to see what you were getting for your money.
Yeah, I do get that.
They talk about combined heat and power system, but I don't know what that consists of.
Do they have a good climate action statement, or is it
No,
it's quite reviewable? Or?
they're only considering solar panels and base load heating. Which probably means they're not going to do it.
shall we,
Should we mention that? We should
Yeah, I
mention
think we
that,
should.
shouldn't we? If
So
you've got
are
an
we-
inadequate climate
are we,
statement.
are we moving to support?
I
I
think,
think we
I
should
think,
move to support.
Suggesting that we
Yeah.
would expect a stronger statement of ways of addressing the climate emergency from such an extensive development.
I just found it difficult to look at it and get a real idea of what it's going to look like.
The second, I mean, there's,
And they've spent a fortune on all these reports, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think,
Do you want something about that as well?
Well, perhaps it's just me, but
No,
I couldn't really get a feel for what it
I
was.
was going to
I thought it was okay. I mean, they're going to have a single story along the road, aren't they? And then the other buildings to the left, as you look at it, is partly two-story and partly one-story, isn't it? So I didn't think, but definitely the stronger statement about. Okay. Are we all right with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. 10. 11 is a certificate of lawfulness. Station Road, use of the car park, oh no, where this is. Right. I mean, to me, this just seems, it's just making good what's been happening for the last about 20 years, isn't it, really? People have been parking there for a long time,
Yeah.
and I can't, it's just confirmation of existing uses, I think.
Can't deny it, can we?
I don't think so. Are we
I don't know.
support that?
With certificate of lawfulness,
So it's certificate of law.
Yeah.
so it's legal anyway, it's not really planned.
If they were applying for this from scratch, though, so if they haven't got 10 years of usage.
It has to have,
My point is, very often the cars are parked on the pavement because it narrows to such an extent, the cars are overhanging. There isn't room for the number of cars that park there. I can't think if you were starting from scratch,
You
that they
wouldn't-
would
you
say,
wouldn't make-
yeah,
you
you can
wouldn't
have
make
4
it-
places there, you'd only get 2.
You wouldn't make a car park there, would you? And you get off the bus stop there and you
Yeah.
sort of protects the back end of your car.
So I don't know how
I
that
don't
affects
know.
this because they've been doing it for over 10 years, I guess.
no, it's just, that is how it is.
I know, Shall we-
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Shall we support confirmation of existing use or not
I'd
comment?
like it just to leave it Kirklees.
Leave it to Kirklees, I'm happy to do that. Do we,
Yeah,
Okay.
let them argue about it.
Yeah.
I just wonder if somebody charging for that use of parking, I noticed they've got little boards, haven't they, saying who's
Oh, happy, you know, if it's a premium, innit? Bet you pay more than a rent.
Can't be very careful to keep it down.
It is, it's insane. When my dad sold some parking spaces in the first recently at an auction,
Because it's over the pavement.
they went for a fortune.
Oh, yeah, no, like, Mark, they're always put that auction.
Yeah, they're crazy. Well, they went for a lot more than the estimate.
Because I thought about buying that parking. That's where I sent my husband.
Right, let's move on to this handsome house on Town Gate in Hepworth. Certificate of lawfulness again, support.
It's really small. I'm surprised that they didn't
The
commission
porch is
this.
small, I think it kind of spoils the facade, but I can't see a lens and
Yeah, support.
yeah. It was a nice clean facade, you know, kind of classic, yeah.
It's quite nice. It's a complimentary. It's wooden, isn't it? It's quite nice.
It's set back quite a bit, isn't it, that one?
Okay, so, and then there was 17, which I'm really sorry, I've obviously missed that off the list, the 14, but maybe you had a look at it anyway, I know Andy did. Okay, change of use, green belt and change of use, so, been empty for 2 years.
Was it really though?
Well, that's what they say.
It will be about
I
that.
bet it was after that break-in, wasn't it?
Was it around about Christmas? Wasn't it?
So
I'm
they,
surprised it's still in town.
well, it may not be for much longer, so it's probably, it's better for buildings to be used than stood empty. Anybody else look at it? Anybody look at it?
I looked at it briefly.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that with it being so close to other public houses that are a little bit more established, it has struggled a bit since it changed ownerships from the previous owner of Tiffany. I think that it's out of own faith. We don't have a drink drive culture anymore. We don't, do you know what I mean? We don't have people that would, it's too far from anywhere, isn't it? Really. To be sustainable business as a public house, I think. So I'd support it.
I support it too. I mean, it's close to existing dwellings. It's not going to
Yeah,
have
it's
the
just
openness,
over the road, isn't it?
openness of the green belt because they're not really changing anything externally. And there's 11 parking spaces. Used to be,
I think
find it difficult to find them all there.
overall, you've got to say it's better than it being empty.
Yeah,
I do think the
Yeah.
climate statement was very poor.
To be fair,
no
though,
associating, no solar, and it was a perfect opportunity.
you need a big coal diesel boiler up there because when it's cold on that hill, it's cold up there, isn't it? It's
Shall we
cold.
draw, well,
They
give
don't
them
really
a-
made any
yeah.
effort though, and
Shall we-
this is premium housing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
let's shall we draw attention to that we would expect a stronger statement. Okay, we're happy with that. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a shame. Because I think most of us have probably all been there at one point and had good times there and had good nice meals and things like that. The car park is really big, I think all mentioned, so I wouldn't be at all
Bigger than
surprised.
you think it is, really.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
all be surprised to see a planning application come in for something like that up there then, like on the car park in the future, but we can't comment on that, can we?
Okay, were there any others that anybody looked at? Not that we should have looked at. Okay, so reading on over the page, there was the new planning applications considered, one, under that, point one. Point two, our new way of doing planning applications. So we've been asked to consider are we going to continue with trial or whether it needs maybe it might need some tweaks. The decision was to review how it was going in January, you know, and it's had a few months and it's not to suit that, really.
I think it's better this way
Yeah.
because it's easier in it to look through them all. Some of them are just standard, and
Yeah.
although when I spoke to Damien, who clearly isn't here tonight, he had a meeting with planning, and they did say that they were going to listen to what we had to say, and that they were sorry that they felt that we'd been ignored, and that they will in future attempt
I don't.
to change that attitude. I did ask him if he'd actually fallen for that, but he assured me that they were very sincere, to which I said to him, I'd be smacked you over the head on your way out, but whatever.
Right.
So we can try, can't we? We can try.
Just, Tom.
Yeah, like from a personal point of view, like I'm looking at more plans now because I'm seeing that before I just look at the ones in my ward or whatever my name was against, like Fulton ones. But like a lot of the time, like some of them didn't need me to look at. But now I'm actually looking at some of the other ones more and giving more time and using more time to look at the ones in detail, the ones which are more important than a small porch or a shed in someone's garden. So in some ways it's better and we're getting through it quicker and no complaints so far, is it?
I'm reluctant to change the decision that we've made already, which is to review it in January. At the meeting of so many working parties, the committees, the working party, the structure of the council committees. What can you remember what it's called? Because you're on that one too, aren't you?
The Chris Green one with Sarah.
Chris Green one.
The case one.
We decided that we'd reconvene our working party on looking at planning applications, which is we four here. That we'd reconvene in January and put a report together to the 10th of February. So that's I wish to stick with that and said as much at this other working group, the part of the committee's working group. And I think it's really important that also that we get a view from the clerking team as well about how you and Gemma feel about it as well.
I know it's early days yet, isn't it? And it's been a bit skewed, isn't it? Because we've not had that many planning applications full stop. But we're still only doing about half of what we would have been doing. So
Yeah, I think since the cost of living crisis, like the amount of planning applications we've got in has reduced down big time, and it's not quite picked up yet. But you kind of think that at some point the economy's going to recover and it's going to pick up again a bit. I did say you might speak at some point. I didn't say it was going to do.
you've been talking about the same person.
Anyway, my point is that like sometimes like you can, if you do review like committees, and we've done it before when I've been in the council, where you have less committees and you put more work onto the different committees and portion it out differently, and you end up with meetings which take 3 hours and 4 hours, and it's not much fun, and it can cause more problems than it's worth. So I think it's going well so far, and we'll see how it goes in January.
Okay, shall we, everybody happy with that decision?
Yeah.
We leave things as it be. Just to say, because I can miss things, and if you feel that I've missed one that we really ought to be looking at, just let me know, possibly the rest of the committee, but certainly let me know, and then at least people will have looked at it. Yeah, Tom.
I don't think it should be all left to you, and I'll be put onto you as well, Mary, about deciding which ones. If there is ones, it's for us to look at ourselves as well and put them forward, like Andy did with that one tonight. So it's up to us to do that. So it's not Mary's fault if she misses one. We should.
I was quite happy to let you take the ball, Mary.
We should mention it to Mary as well.
Yeah.
Like I did that last time about the other application.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's up to us.
I think it needs one person kind of take the responsibility for doing it, but then let's get back to it. So fine, we leave it.
We should also look at the applications in our own wards in our own time, and then if we do think we should be added, then we should do it.
Yeah. It's true, Liz, there's a lot of areas are not covered. I mean, this is a shrinking committee, and And we know why, because it's a committee that meets most frequently and involves the most amount of work.
It's a difficult thing to put sort of
Mm.
rules down, isn't it? Because, you know, we've said we should look at ones in Greenbelt, which I think is the right thing to do, but then tonight, you look at
We
one
had
in
one
Greenbelt
that was
and
tiny.
actually, there's nothing to look at, is there?
Yeah.
You're never going to get it absolutely spot on, I think.
Okay, moving on, item 144, Peak District National Park Authority, who have gone extremely quiet. We haven't had anything from them for a while, have we? So I guess there's no further action there, because there are no new applications. The local plan, consultation period ending on the 29th of November. How do we respond to this? Do we refer this to the local plan working group? We could do.
Did someone go to a meeting on this in Peak District? Was it Sarah that was going?
She went, someone went.
No, it was the parish's meeting.
Or was it? I think not.
Because I was going to go and then I pulled out because it needed two of us to go in. No, it wasn't. No, it
Right,
wasn't.
okay,
So,
okay.
can I put, because I'm doing the agenda for the Kirklees Council Local Plan Review Group tomorrow. So shall we put this responsibility onto that? Yeah.
Not much
Refer-
time though, is there?
No, but we're meeting on Thursday, so we've got time to.
Thursday
Yeah.
at 7 o'clock, aren't we?
Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So is that okay? People are happy with refer? It's not the kind of thing you can do in a meeting. So.
This consultation, I've been misreading it now.
Just a white swish.
Oh, wow.
It's nice to see that they've got money.
Big document.
Yeah, what's the book?
Okay.
We need to have a look at it and see what it says about accountability.
Yeah.
Can I have a little go at that book?
There's a couple.
Is that, see,
Maybe want one.
There's two separate books.
Bloody hell,
Consultation.
Is that 200 pages or 500?
205.
They're ahead of Kirklees with this, I have to say.
Maybe we should be handing this to the planning team. Look at what they've done over here.
Yeah.
To be fair though, they've not filled out pages.
Just not.
And they've accommodated my lack of ability to read with pictures.
I can say that there's a picture there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although it's not very red, green, colourblind accommodating.
Does it have a section about home religion or anything like that, or just is it more about general rules and?
Landscaping.
I mean, we've only got a tiny bit.
We've
haven't we?
only got some more. Well, wait, actually we have quite a
Oh, a
large,
big area.
quite a large bit, which usually
There's
for
nothing in
for a
it.
sheep, isn't it? So,
Do you know, they have Bakewell. Wouldn't you be
Yeah.
proud if you had Bakewell?
okay, shall we move on to traffic calming, 145 traffic calming. Hooray, finally we've finally been invoiced. Yay, two together, yeah.
I think we should wait a year before we pay them.
There's clearly no rush. How much interest will we get? £1.50.
Right, Deputy Clerk to report.
Yeah, may the last be.
I mean, I could pay it now, to be honest. I was thinking because we've got Kirklees Council's on our list of regular payments, so all that needs is you two to sign the report. I'm inclined to leave though, to be honest.
I completely agree. All in favour?
So that's why I've said after the 2nd of December.
I think we'll leave this to the, Deputy Clerk.
Do we need to approve the payment though? We've already approved it, haven't we, the purchase?
Yeah, because it's
We can't, well,
It has to be F&M, doesn't it?
finance approves, it's already approved the payment in a sense, because it's Kirklees Council is a regular payee, so we can do it straight
well, we've
away.
already approved it, we voted it off anyway, haven't we, the money when we went to pay it.
Yes, indeed. So there's no further action.
No further action, no further action. Okay, speeding in the Home Valley.
We got an email about that, haven't we?
We haven't had any.
Can I say I've got one bit disappointed? Did Councillor Crook gave you like a table which
Jane sent it to Councillor Ransby.
Oh, okay. Just, it would have been nice to see in the,
I think it
you
Councillor.
got it at the last meeting.
No, we
The
got it.
data sheet.
We got it last time, but it was from February.
Yeah,
So we
but
asked for an updated
they
version.
don't, that's not a thing. That's what Councillor Cook said, because I asked him specifically in the email, is the delay for the data just normal, that they're like, 8 or 9 months behind, and he said, yes, that's normal. I know, it sounds,
It wasn't actually part of the planning committee, notes, was it?
no, it wasn't, no.
Because if
It came afterwards.
it
Yeah.
would have been in public.
Yes, exactly.
And we're not allowed to share it either.
I know that bit.
So it's pointless.
I have to say, personally, I'm not happy with this reluctance to share it.
No, neither am I.
These are publicly funded devices, aren't they?
Yeah.
To help control speed.
Yeah, it'd be
Why
interesting.
would we not want to share it? I don't get that. Where's it going?
Well, I can think of one reason that if people don't like these, or people don't like these devices that record how fast people are going.
People don't know that they record it though.
But but if they did, they might go and vandalise them. Because if they realise that like, these seats are the reason why speed cameras are getting put up there, they might think, alright, if we don't want a speed camera put in a PL later, let's just go get rid of this SID. And you know what some people are like, some people vandalise speed cameras and things like that and various things. So
Well, the counter argument is if they knew that it could lead to a speed camera, then perhaps it
It's
takes more
slow
notice. I cannot see the point
Yeah.
in spending money putting something up to influence the public and then say, we're not going to tell you the result.
A lot of
It's-
people didn't know that they record the number, like they record the speed.
I didn't.
And I think if people realise that they did record the speeds, they'd respect them a little bit more. Because to be quite honest, like, and that one, not in our parish, by the Star Inn at Denbydale, has been there 3 years, and people speed up and down there all the time, and there is no speed camera. So, like, I think that they're going to get a speed camera is a bit of a fallacy.
It would be interesting to know the reasons why they can't.
It's a publicly funded device by taxpayers' money. We should be entitled
it's
to
just
see
to the
the
point,
data.
the police review the data, don't they? And they decide whether the speed
Is
camera or
it,
not.
is it the police that review it?
That's what they said there, the pass, if it passes a certain quota, then it gets passed on to the
Oh, really?
police. And
Oh, my
then
God.
they
I
do it.
don't know if it wasn't, I don't know whether it wasn't police.
No,
I think it was Kirk.
We have to pass it to the police.
Police did that, they decided that one,
Yeah.
Greenfield
Road,
Road,
yeah.
they decided that one did hit the quota, whereas the one that, is it Hedge did one? Or the Nottingham Road, even wherever the one that came from, they decided it didn't pass.
Yeah,
Dunford Road, sorry, that was it, wasn't it? Dunford Road.
That's because you can't get faster than 2 miles an hour.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean, but it did get passed on, and then the police did put the speed camera up there, so.
No, I think the point is here that we don't actually know that. We don't know what the process is for flagging it up to West Yorkshire Police.
Yeah, so do you want me to try and get clarification about the process?
I think that would be quite useful.
And I think
if
even a
it's
step
just
further.
Yeah.
What if the West Yorkshire Police say, well, we haven't got enough resources, we're still not going to do it?
They will say that.
Um,
Not for a speeding thing.
apparently they do.
Well, yeah.
They're overwhelmed by the number of people wanting them and they can't build them all.
So they'll last on site on the 5th of October and continue to monitor the police. So, I mean, things are working, aren't they? So it would be interesting to know why they can't share the data. And it's the same that they're not shared between wards even.
I just don't get the secrecy around it.
Especially when we don't really have the sovereign garage, because that's like Kirkbird and Denbydale Ward. The amount of accidents that happen down there, and speeding up and down New Mill, which does affect it, because obviously there's been some very tragic accidents. You would think, wouldn't you, that we would, maybe we should look at making, like we say we're going to do quite a bit, like parish council interactions and tackle the issues together, you know, as the neighbouring wards.
Okay.
Because we did that with the quarry and we got somewhere in the end.
I think there's another point as well, that when as with the Dunford Road one, there was no issue, then it'd be nice to publish that as well and say.
Oh, guess what? Dunford Road's a gridlock all the time, we can't go faster than 10 miles an hour.
You can at least say, look, people are abiding by the speed limit.
There's reasons why, but they're saying we
There may
can't
be
push it, there's
reasons
reasons
why,
why,
but
but
I'd
I don't disagree with it or agree with it.
No, it'd be nice to know what the reasons were. I mean, people would be interested to know that 42% of people were speeding on Greenfield Road, you know, with close to a primary school. But there may be cogent reasons not to share, but I can't imagine quite what they might,
Yeah,
what they might be.
people want to know that they live in a safe and responsible environment with a community that cares about what they live in. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand how when we ask the taxpayer to pay for these facilities, we then can't share that information with them. Surely that's not actually correct.
Yeah, and according to the training, when we have the training, road safety is within the remit of parish councils, isn't it?
Well then, let's carry on pushing.
Is that okay, Rich? Should we
Yeah.
go? Yeah? I think
Just mentioning, Councillor Brooke is actually following this up, so maybe
Okay.
try the same path.
Okay.
Maybe-
Well, I'll pass chat to him, yeah.
I think you should, as an ex-law enforcement officer, I think he has some
Fair point,
expertise.
fair point.
And there's just one thing, I thought perhaps we could ask for data from the Horn Valley North councillors.
Yep.
Which we haven't
Good
had.
too.
We have, because we tend to forget about Horn Valley North, don't we?
Yeah, they do get away with quite a bit.
And we got.
Some of them may not be in our ward, but some of them may be in Meltham, but the ones which are in Holly, it would be interesting to see the data.
Yeah, the one on, well, I suppose it might be a while ago before. we
Yeah,
get
it's the one by the
data, but-
station, but-
Yeah, exactly, the one by the school, yeah. Okay.
Let's do 2021.
Don't be so cynical. Don't be so cynical.
Yeah,
Do you really think they would pay to do a job?
it was from February, the other one, so like, we might get some like this time next year for the other ones.
We will change this council.
Right.
Just before we leave that,
Yeah, sorry.
I have asked the engineer that deals with these where our camera is now. I don't know where.
How do you know? Do
I
you
don't
know
know.
the engineer?
How do you,
Yeah, he used to talk to me, but he stopped talking.
Oh, he did, he was a friend.
There is a road to the go through, isn't there?
yeah.
But how do we know where it is now?
They once thought Sheffield Road, didn't they? Across from where the nursery is.
There's a time, obviously there's a, they're
I
not
don't know if that's how it was
just
on
moved at random,
I
there's
don't know if that's how it was on Kirklees one, but on Sheffield Road.
So again, Councillor Brooks following that.
There is actually one on the way, on the A616 down towards the mill now, where
Yeah.
I originally asked
In fact, that's, I
for
mean,
the place.
Sheffield Road, yeah, across from the nursery, but I don't know why the other one currently is, because there's two, isn't there? There was one by the school, wasn't there, as well, but I don't know where that's gone now.
But the one on Sheffield Road is quite interesting because recently
Because he was aware of
they've
it.
taken about 7 metres of wall coming down on it too fast. So it's quite interesting to see that it's.
You do see it, I do pay more attention to it, because I drive that road to work every day, or 3 times a week now, so I do notice it more.
Right, can we, good discussion on that. Can we move on to school parking bollards? Has anybody found a school that's...
I have failed to contact Hayden, I'll do it tomorrow morning. I will write myself a note.
I'm not,
I will nudge you.
Yeah, nudge me, that's a very good idea.
Could have called in today.
I've been so busy with the sheep and work. it's been
nobody else has... I wonder, do all the councillors know that these are on offer? I wonder-
No, I don't
I
think
think
so.
it might be worth perhaps just an email to...
Well, I think
Yeah.
Councillor Lyles was going to have first try with Hayden Edge. and
Yeah,
then-
because
and
they
then
double park on quite a bad bend, you see.
I know Councillor
Now, do you want-
Bailey.
if you
I'll
do
ask
that, if you
tomorrow.
do that and draw the line, maybe at the next meeting we can decide to let all councillors know. I'm not
Yeah,
even
okay.
asking, I'm not asking that because there's hardly any room to put them on the road, so. Okay, right. Ongoing highways campaign, Councillor Wilson, sort of respond to reply.
There's not too much more to say, but Ramsden Road, they have been on with repairing it, and I believe it's now finished. And they've left it closed. They've still got the TRO on it, so there's concrete blocks to stop anyone going on it. And
Where are the blocks?
they're opposite Harry Weir's, the gamekeepers.
No, okay. No, right there.
You know where the old quarry is, near the seat on the bend at the top?
Oh, yeah,
do, I'll put it off there.
Okay.
And it's quite effective with these big Lego blocks, so
Mhm.
anything will get back.
Okay.
But of course, it now needs a permanent TRO, otherwise it'll be a waste of money. And I don't know what's happening with that. I've not had any feedback on it.
I read something on, and I hate to say this because usually it's the biggest load of dross ever, but I read something on social media about them trying to get a permanent tiara, and there was some moderate support, if I was honest, because I was watching it a bit, but I didn't know how correct the information was, so I failed to comment.
Yeah, they've actually gone through all the motions of putting the permanent TRO on now, and the date for comments on that proposal has now passed. So they should either be amending it to take into consideration the comments about it, or they put it to cabinet for approval.
I mean, it was,
So it's imminent.
it was comprehensive in the sense of it was covering all those lanes that we've discussed in the past, wasn't it? You know, your
Yeah.
state gates and
Yeah,
gate
there
ramps
are
and-
some oddities with it, but I'm not going into them now, but yeah, we're waiting for them to come back now and see what the proposal is. That also covers Cheesegate now, but that's under the same TRO. South Lane, I believe, is done.
I think it is.
Came
Yeah,
down the
big
other day and
one,
it looks well done.
Right.
Yeah. That's good.
I don't know who's paid.
And,
Any
and,
complaints or?
And
And-
hopefully not the person who owns it, because that was a very inappropriate thing.
and done and finished in the sense, you
No.
know, not like Burnley Road where they're going to have to come back and do something else. Does it look done?
I only drove past it,
I
it
think
looked
it's,
to be done.
I think it's, that's true, I think it's done.
Oh, good.
I'll call him tomorrow.
Okay. That's it, Andy.
That's it.
You're
thanks.
done? Thank you. So, number 147 is just for us to note that the public inquiry has been postponed. It's not very precise, it's delayed until January to May 2025.
Oh well, that's
And,
fair enough.
Our clerk has,
She was quite pleased.
happily,
Yeah,
she's
she's
going
quite
to,
pleased.
yeah, she's quite 148 is a little bit of an oddity really, isn't it? It's, do we want to, do we want to make any comment or just leave it be?
It's a
Stopping
really
up
odd one,
in
isn't it?
highway, it isn't like a highway at all, it's like
Yeah.
a lump of land really.
We had this at planning, didn't we? They applied for planning,
Yeah.
which he got, but they said that he would have to get a stopping up order, and it didn't necessarily follow that he owned the land. He's now going for this stopping up order has been
Yeah.
proposed, but again, they say it doesn't follow that he necessarily owns the land, and the neighbours are saying he doesn't. So I don't know quite where you go with that.
Well, it becomes a civil matter, doesn't it?
I don't think we're taking any action on this, are we?
I mean, in terms of what it is, it's a bit of scrubland, isn't it?
Yes.
It makes no
Yeah.
difference to anything.
Yes, but
But somebody,
Tom's dad recently sold a bit of scrub land for quite a lot of
someone
money.
must own it, mustn't they?
Yeah.
Well, we may not know it is.
I don't think.
Yeah, there's no point in us getting involved in this, I think,
No,
so
So
no
no action.
no action on that. Okay, thanks. And then the planning policy and guidance and consultation on Holcroft Moss planning obligations, I think, unusually, I think we decided that time was short, that we would respond by saying thank you, but, we wouldn't comment on this, in this case, so quite a long way from here. Is there anything to add, Rich, to that? No. Okay. Right, design code. This saga continues. there must have been some progress. There's additional information about the design code in the budget item further on. So obviously Steve Ransby's not here, so he's not here to report on progress. So we just have to carry that forward to the next meeting. 151 plate standards. So I'm down to report, and I don't have anything to report. I'm not sure whether you have, Andy.
Only that they've cancelled the next meeting.
Oh, the
It's
council
now not
next
until the
meeting.
new year, so there's
Oh,
nothing to
right.
report, so.
Okay.
No further action. Kirklees local plan review. We aimed last time to increase, or perhaps it was at the full council meeting, to increase the size of this committee, of rather our working group, and it has increased. So it's been joined by Joe and Sarah Whitelaw and Jane Wyler from within the council, and I think we reported previously that Margaret Dale wished to join as well. So the idea is, I don't know whether there's any interest on Saturday about it. I didn't, because I wasn't on the parish council store at all. There was anybody rushed up and said, I really want to be involved in the local plan review. I guess they didn't do that when you were doing the attack.
No, I think that's one thing to come out really, that we didn't do enough of that. We were directing people rather than engaging.
Right.
I was like creating 6 sheep to me.
So it would be better if we did a stand inside the hall.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
said.
people were
That's what I
freezing.
said.
But I'm not that listening for that.
So the way that things seem to be trending at the moment is that we're going to open this up into a partnership and execute it in a similar way to the neighbourhood development plan process. So it will become an even larger group, and maybe I guess at some point kind of break free from planning and become something a different beast. So the next meeting of this working group is on Thursday at 7. This Thursday, the 14th of November.
You know this local plan review, what is the deadline? Because I
We
think
don't know.
the original deadline that Kirklees gave was like now.
It's miles away.
It's miles away. It's a couple of
2026,
years,
something like that.
couple of years on.
I think they'll have to bring it forward
I
personally.
think they might, yes.
Because of the way that the policies have been written now, everything's changing, so surely.
Well, they're having to react to the new planning framework, aren't they? As well?
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot happening. It's just really about us getting ready, really, and you know, getting our ducks in a row, as they say, about the various elements of the review. Okay, so anybody got anything else to say about that?
No, we'll just see what happens.
Right, moving on, neighbourhood development plan. No idea why I did this. I did it 2 years ago. It involved going through all the minutes. I went through all the minutes for the last 2 years. And it was quite, well, there were a couple of things that came out really. One was, in a way, and we know about this anyways, about almost like the retreat of Kirklees Council's officers in terms of interacting with us, and we know why that is, because they're too much to do. So things that were kind of half promised have not happened, that particularly around heritage and notice. That was yeah, one thing that I noticed. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I know that Debbie Dale have got quite a good relationship with Kirklees. I wonder if once again it's worth seeing what we can get out of them, to see if we can have a.
Jen Clark is pursuing this at that level with other clerks, so I think I think there's a willingness now to work together. I mean, for the parish and town councils to work together and try and create a better relationship with Kirklees. So back to my thing for the neighbourhood plan. It's a very idiosyncratic list of things. I don't know even even Rachel Hogley admitted the list was a little idiosyncratic. I don't think there's any point in repeating this exercise, but just for the sake of completion, if anybody's got any, if you think I've missed anything, if you can bear to read it, if you tell me of any initiatives that I've missed.
I'm sure you've done a great
It's
job.
it's always the same when you sit down and list what you've done. It's quite a good thing to do, but it was obvious that there was much less that happened in the last 2 years than there was in the first year. But I guess that's because in the first year a lot of things were being kind of set up and developed. So maybe that's inevitable.
So it's both checking every so often, 'cause it's kind of like we're marking our own homework, isn't it? Making
is,
sure we're doing these
yeah.
things and then
Well,
in the way
it's
that we're like we've got good practices and sticking to what we agreed with.
It is, yeah, it's important to review, but so moving on, I know that Steve Ransby is having a look at a more fundamental review really of the neighbourhood development plan, because obviously a lot's changed since it was developed and made, so he's not here to say where he's got to with this. So that needs to go forward to the next meeting as well. The planning working groups.
Yeah, the reason why myself and the clerk have been collecting these is we were looking through all the minutes, and basically there were 29 working groups across all the committees, and we just weren't sure which ones were still alive and which ones were defunct. So
29.
yes,
Wow.
exactly. Mm.
Oh, I like a working group.
Well, we're not doing too bad, there's only 2 for planning.
No,
we need to set up some more, don't we?
We show an admirable restraint.
What do you call it? We're a very productive team. Let's not ruin it.
I think both of these are still active and ongoing, aren't they? So, hopefully the planning application ones are about to knock out on the head in the new year.
No, there's no change. There's no change. There's no change to that
No.
one because it's and we've already been through. Already said that we're going to meet again in the new year, ready for the planning meeting on the 10th of Feb, and then to go to full council. The local plan working group again is grown into a bigger group and will possibly transmogrify into something else.
The thing is that it's a big piece of work, that isn't it?
It's a huge piece.
The more of it, the less
the-
work everyone else
yeah.
has to do, and we'll
Yeah,
just
I
review
think
it.
we'll do what we did with the neighbour and dish out their responsibility when we get to that point. So Thursday
And
will be.
there's definitely no more working groups than those two.
No.
I would say, are there any on the list that have been completed and we just haven't signed them off, sort of thing?
Of this committee?
Yeah.
I don't think so. As Mary said, there's a lot of times where it's not quite a working group when you go away and do some work. It tends to be
Yeah.
2 or 3 of you working together, but I think these are more formal working groups.
Yeah, we don't really. We're all right as we are.
There's actually working groups, and there's like the other 8 discussion groups that we had, isn't there?
Sometimes you
There's
respond
personal
to...
vendettas against people in the valley.
I wouldn't call that a working group really.
No.
Yeah, sometimes, you and I quite often draft together drafted responses to send
the
out
consultations.
for the consultation.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
It's
wouldn't
not
call
working.
that-
It's not quite a
It's just a
working
piece
group, no.
of work that needs doing out of the meeting.
As far as I know, there's nothing outstanding apart from
Okay.
this.
Sorry to disappoint you, Rich. There's no secret societies here.
No,
It was,
this committee wasn't the one we were
You
considering
weren't worried about
problematic.
this, were you?
I don't think there's any meetings any groups that I'm on that have all these
Come on,
dramas.
spill the beans.
Yeah, come on. I bet I do know what it is.
Yeah.
But we did make decisions on that local plan working group, and one was there's a note here about the meeting we had on the 12th of August and working with Create Streets and decided that was not a good idea.
Yeah, we did do that. That was a very good, that was a very productive working group.
I don't think we need to set working groups to review all the working groups and if we need any more.
Would you like us to review all your working groups, Rich?
Take an axe to.
Yeah. We are the efficient councillors.
nobody's got anything else to say on working groups, have they?
Absolutely
I
not.
think, I agree with Joe, I think this is a pretty efficient, you know, and it has been for a while, you know, pretty.
It's the same as finance, really. You just get on with it, do it, bang, 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 out the door, done.
You don't, presumably you don't want to know about land charge, you want?
No, nothing to do
I
with
do
this
it.
council.
Absolutely not.
Yes, really.
Absolutely not discussing that here.
Nothing to do with Rich.
Next.
Right, let's move on to money then. Actual can we note the actual expenditure against, or you RFO to report, do you want?
Oh, it's
to
not.
carry us through it,
It's
so take us
nothing
through
we
it.
don't-
not-
So expenditure this year, I mean, we've only paid for two things, and well, we paid for the parking bollards, and then we will be paying for the two SIDs, and that's all we have paid. Well,
We do have Councillor Ransby stuff coming up.
yes,
don't we?
exactly. That's projected. We've already committed this money. So in the end, the two SIDs were £7,202, which felt relatively cheap, I thought, compared to what was budgeted for.
Cheaper than the election.
I think we budgeted for 10,000.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Let's not question that.
that seems relatively reasonable. And then in terms of the projected, so I wasn't sure how to pitch this because Councillor Ransby gave us, if you remember, 3 different costs depending on the print run, 4 different depending on the print run. So I just pitched it with the highest print run. So even going with the highest print run, you'll still have a bit left of your 1,500 quid. You'd have £100 left at the end of the year. If by any chance that's not spent by the year end, I mean, I presume it will be, won't it? But if it isn't, I think it's
Which longer?
I think it would fall into what we were talking about, that it is a project that's already been, the money's been identified, so it would roll into an earmark reserve, so I don't think that would be an issue. Do you think that's the case, Andy?
I mean, if we've planned for it to be spent, then that's fine, isn't it?
Yes.
It's if we've nothing planned for it.
Indeed. So those are just 2 things to note, point 1 and point 2. I don't think there's anything particularly controversial. I suppose the thing to be thinking about is what's going to happen with the earmark reserve that you've still got left. Like I've just said, perhaps the cost of the SIDS was perhaps less than expected.
Could do one of these.
So there will be £4,850 left in the earmark reserve.
Well, we'd have to put that back in because we've not spent it and it wasn't in that reserve that we. So surely we need to just put it back in the pot.
That is one thing you could do, or you could do something else with it.
I don't think we can all go to Magaluf for a week. I don't know what else we'd do.
Well, the only thought was you could. I'm not suggesting we do it, but you could say, well, we'll buy a 3rd calendar.
Well, what's the point if we can't get the data off
So I
it?
say I'm not necessarily suggesting that. I'm just saying you could, because that would fit in with the plan, wouldn't it?
Is the plan to have more?
That's not
I
going to
think
say
it's
that's your
fine.
plan, it's not my plan.
How many Kirklees SIDs is there? One that they have to run by South, or is it 2?
2.
So we've got, ours is the 3rd one then?
No, there's 2 in Home Valley North and 2 in Home Valley South.
For Kirklees?
One of Kirklees is each and one of ours each.
Alright, so there's 2 then, like,
there's
it's 2
4.
North by South and 2 North by.
Yeah.
So we don't need any more?
Because they move around, don't they?
Yeah,
I don't think.
I don't think.
And you can reallocate where they go anyway.
So many times a year.
You know, if you decide that, for instance,
Dunford Road's not
Road's a
worth
waste
it.
of time, we can put it somewhere else.
I don't think we need that money, so.
I think we need to just put it back in the pot because it will help us pay other
Well,
bills.
that would be great, you know,
If we need it again.
that's
We
I don't see any point
50
leaving
pence.
things.
We've just overspent on the leaky roof. We need the money.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
and that's, it's not an insubstantial sum, it's 50p, you know, it's 50p on the, off,
Preset.
50p off the household charge, so it's not
Which
too smooth.
we shouldn't be looking for things to
No,
spend
No,
on.
no.
To spend
No.
on, but I think one thing that we will need to spend on is on the local plan review.
Yeah, so we do need, but that's not going to be 4.5 grand.
That's not, oh no, it's not going to be 4.5 grand.
Budget really, rather than.
Depends we did a consultation with the public about that, because we did consult before, we sent, we did surveys, didn't we, sent things out, and
Yeah,
that can be quite costly,
That
so
cost, yeah,
you might need a
it's
like,
costly, wasn't it?
Yes, the NDP.
you might need a
The NDP was very expensive.
you might need a budget of about 1,000, maybe 1,500 for that.
The thing is
It might
though,
not get spent, but it's best having it than not having it.
Public, yeah.
I get that, but we can ask for it again, can't we? We can put it back in the reserves and ask for it back. There's no reason, we've got the earmarked reserves for a reason, haven't we?
But if it gets put into the reserves and then it's followed up by the next.
Two different things. I mean, the budget, I think, is what you're talking about for the local plan review. The earmark reserve, I think you're quite right. I don't think you need it, and it should just go back into general reserves. But you need money for, you know, that and potentially other things that come along as well. So don't.
So why don't we just put 2,000 in earmarked reserves for the local plan, giving us a £500 budget over what we think, and then give 2,000 whatever back?
Yeah,
You know, the different things.
No, it doesn't work like that really.
it would be a budget line, you put it in your budget line, but in effect, if you put a budget line with 2,000 in there, and so there's like an underspend of, because the rest of the money can just go back into the pot, but it's kind of there as a budget line rather than being an EMR.
Yeah. So this year you've got 1,500 in the budget, and the suggestion would be that will I'd roll it
Just
or
keep that. Roll that
a
forward.
little more. And you'd still be you'd still be putting 4,850 quid back in
I think that's the way to go, isn't it?
back in the
So
pot.
if you just
So,
added on,
Andy,
putting in the budget the same as this year, 1,500,
Yeah.
that wouldn't have any effect on the
That was
basic.
exactly
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
zero
Then you would have
effect
put
increase.
back the 4,000
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Which is
into
50p off his council tax bill. The whole year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is of nothing.
it's nothing.
No, but,
Just nothing, what is 50p anymore? Nothing.
but given the fact that we're going to likely going to put the household charge up because of the extra £40,000 for the Civic,
Unless we get the VAT thing sorted.
well, that's all been very slow as well. Yes.
We could use that money that we've got to put back in the earmarked reserves to get some proper tax advice. Oh, we got some for free. Let's get some paid for so they listen.
I know.
There's a reason why I pay
So-
that council.
So are we
So
saying
you
then
can
that we put the EMR back into reserves,
Yeah.
and
Yes,
that we're
the
keeping the
existing
budget the
EMR,
same as
yeah.
last year?
Is that enough? I mean, I suppose it's a very open-ended question, given we don't know what's going to happen about the local plan review.
No.
But
I rather feel that the local plan review expenditure would probably come in the financial
Oh,
year
right,
after
after.
that.
Okay.
So we've got till 2026, haven't we? So
okay,
all in favour to put the money back in EMR into the budget.
Is that what you're proposing?
That's what I'm proposing.
back into
Give them
the
the money
general
back.
reserves.
I thought we were going to put some, but there's going to be a budget line for.
There is a budget line.
There will be, yeah.
Right, okay.
And
So-
we won't be spending it until next year.
Yeah. So we'll put it back into general reserves now, and but like, there's going to be a budget line for that. So yeah, in effect, it's going to go into.
Well, is that what you're wanting to do? To put the money back into general reserves now? I mean, you can do. I mean, council would have to make that decision.
Could we move it into a line for the consultation now? So then if there is anything that we spend on, change part of it. You change part of it into like 1,500 across into the budget line for the consultation on the local plan, and then rolling forward next year, that money can just roll straight forward, rather than sticking it all into reserves and then taking it out later.
But we don't even know that we need it, do we?
Well, we might do this.
Not this next financial year.
Not this
Yeah.
next financial year.
It seems a bit
Alright, stick it with reserves.
silly to say.
Yeah, stick it back in. Propose stick it back in.
Yes, somebody, okay. Right, all those in favour, let's put it back in reserves.
Say 50p.
Hopefully nobody else will spend it in the short term.
Don't know what we'll buy.
And then is the idea that the budget line is just going to stay the same?
Yeah.
That's going to be 1,500.
Yeah.
We are supposed to, aren't we, consider future years as well?
Yeah,
Well, I think, yeah.
Would we just add inflation?
I mean, you could do. I mean, it's a strange situation, isn't it? Because you're not actually, you know, it's not like some of the other committees where
Service and provision.
where inflation is a part of what they do, in the sense that, you know, you're paying for the price of equipment, you're paying for wage increases, yada yada yada.
We could be your golden star level committee, you know, giving money back.
In your case,
No working
you
class.
might want to consider an inflationary increase, but I don't think it's not as obvious as
I mean,
other
unless
committees.
it's something that we are projecting is going to happen, that we need a significant
Well,
sum
we may
for in
need
the
some
next 3 years.
we may need some small expenditure, I suppose, on the renewable plan review next year, so if you
But then that's probably within that 15.
within that 1,500, I think that would cover it, because we've got nothing else to spend on. But then the year after that,
And we can ask them for money if we've got, if we've put money back in, we can ask for money back out, can't we?
Yeah.
Because it's not like we always take service provision.
No.
Do you know what I mean? We're like completely different, aren't we?
Sorry, Tom, you've been waiting to
Sorry.
speak.
I spoke once tonight. The planning committee before in the past has always had really small budgets, tiny budgets,
Yeah.
like £1,000, even less than that sometimes. But it's worth having some money in there if, like, all of a sudden someone puts a planning permission in for like a big supermarket somewhere, we might have to do a public consultation, which can cost quite a bit for hiring venues and then surveys and other things like that. There can be like little ad hoc things that come up, so it's worth having a bit of budget in there, but you don't need the earth.
We've got this really expensive asset as well that we ought to use a bit more, considering we're paying for it for free. You know what I mean? I'm sure that the committee there will be really favourable to us, considering we're paying the roofing bill.
I think we've moved on to item 156 from, I think that's what we're talking about at the moment, isn't it? But are we okay with what we've decided?
So 1,500 budget,
Budget, yeah.
no increase for inflation over 3 years. No, is that right?
Stop making it complex.
I've got to ask the questions because it's part of the financial regulations that you've got to have a
Labour
3-year
say
plan.
inflation's going to
Joe,
fall.
Sure.
You've got to have a 3-year plan. Even if you say we don't need to consider inflation, you need to have thought about it.
Right, there's no increase for inflation now, 1,500, no increase.
Right.
Is that including consultation money for the local plan as well?
I mean,
Well, it might include an element of that, but I
Okay.
think the great expenditure, if we're going to produce documents, will be in the financial year after.
Yeah.
You're not tied to this 1,500, we're just making a projection for the next 3 years. I mean, if we come across something in 2020, whatever it is, 7, then we can change it, can't we?
Yeah.
It's
we'll go
a
quick.
forecast. So that's what it is.
Is that okay? Are people
Yeah.
okay with that? And we've already voted that we'll be put the
Got 0 earmark reserve.
that reserve back
Right.
into funds. Good. Okay. Right. Anything else to say on that, Rich?
No.
Right. Publicising the work.
We've put all the money back in here from here, like 50.
Don't think we've done anything particularly noteworthy,
No,
have we?
no,
Just.
not suppose so.
You have the least
Anybody
working
any
group.
ideas? No? Great. In that case, that's the
Yeah.
close of the meeting. Thank you.